Welcome to the 5th Annual Golden Crocoduck Awards. Yes, a hearty welcome to the 2013 Golden Crocoduck Award, brought to you from the beautifulst Jude Thaddeus Theatre in downtown Burbank. As you know, the Golden Crocoduck is awarded every year for the biggest breach of the ninth commandment in pursuit of the creationist cause. And if you don't know what the ninth commandment is, then you weren't paying attention in Sunday school. It's the biblical law that forbids the bearing of false witness. And the reason it's bestowed on creationists is because it's ironic that they are willing to make false statements in order to promote a religion that forbids the making of false statements, including false statements that promote a religion that forbids the making of false statements. Get the irony? Och, not everyone does, but I think the rest of us find these false utterances almost as funny as gay preachers railing against homosexuality. Before we get onto the main agenda, please stay to the end because I have an important announcement. So who has won this year's coveted Golden Crocoduck? We whittled down all the nominations to 5 worthy contenders, whom you saw in the last video. So without further ado, here in reverse order are the scores. We got it. Congratulations, Lois. Of course, Lois is no stranger to the Golden Crocoduck Award. He was nominated in 2011 for his insistence that a protein called laminin was in the perfect shape of a cross. And this year he won for insisting that dead stars can decide to start spinning and that sound travels through the vacuum of space. If you sense a pattern here, well, that's Giglio's stock in trade to detect signs of Jesus in just about everything he sees and hears. Yes, I know it's nothing new for creationists to look at a daffodil or a sunset and babble on about how they see in it the work of the Lord, but Giglio takes this to a literal extreme. He thinks God has actively planted these symbols and that in the sounds they make, animate and inanimate objects are in fact seriously attempting to sing praises to God. And you have to wonder, does Giglio just sit at a computer for hours googling images just to find something that vaguely resembles a cross? Don't laugh. That's exactly what he does. Well, while I was enduring go with these students, I was just looking for something that I had seen before. I was on the Hubble site searching whirlpool images. You remember the darling of astronomy, the Whirlpool Galaxy. And I just searched whirlpool. A list of names of images came up. One of them was called the Cux structure at the core of the Whirlpool Galaxy. I thought, okay, click on that link and a photograph comes up, an image comes up on me computer screen, almost knocks me off of me seat. I cannot believe it. I am just staring at it with me mouth open. It's 31 million light years away. The Hubble Space Telescope, seeing what we cannot see, has looked into the dark black hole core of the Whirlpool Galaxy and sent us back a photograph. Here's what NASA sent us back from 31 million light years away, deep in the core of the Whirlpool Galaxy. We get this image coming back to us. What is it? Well, what we re-seeing are two rings of dust orbiting a black hole in the middle of the galaxy. And they look black because they re-blocking light. And because we re-seeing their rings and on, they don't look like rings. So nothing exemplifies the difference between creationists and the rest of us than how we view discoveries like this. To the scientists who made this discovery and to anyone interested in learning about the fascinating universe we live in, this image is a breakthrough. It's the first direct view of airing of dust fueling a massive black hole, an event predicted by theoretical physics. In a huge galaxy, millions of light years from Earth, two rings of dust 100 times the diameter of our solar system are swirling around a black hole. Hot ionized gas from the rings moving at speeds of up to 2 million miles an hour is being swallowed up into gravitational oblivion. And what does a creationist see? who looks just like Jesus, and that looks like Jesus, and that looks like Jesus, and woo, that looks a lot like Jesus. And of course it's not just the sights that get Lois excited, it's also the sounds. We've already seen how he believes a distant pulsar is singing praises to God, and so is every other grunt and rattle. What, even this? Now surely there, Snowway Giglio can insist that this is a hymn to God. You know, the whales, one of the main ways they get around is through the whale songs that they sing. And I got Psalm 148 all inside of me, and I'm like, no kidding, I'm sure they do. So yes, all those squawks, chirrups, bubbles, bellows, and moans errant, mating calls, or territorial warnings, as biologists would have us believe they re-animal attempts to sing hymns. Not for that God, or that God, or those gods, but only for Lois Giglio's God. The other gods will have to get their own set of animals. So bearer of false witness, revealer of truth, mentally unhinged delusionist, we report you decide. But for the claims that were nominated for this year's Golden Crocoduck at least, Lois Giglio got it wrong. Congratulations, Lois. You re the latest in a proud line of Golden Crocoduck winners. And sadly the last, because that's the announcement I have to make. The Golden Crocoduck has been running since 2008, and me intention was always to keep it running as long as it was popular. And it's been getting more and more popular every year, because every year the number of votes has been increasing. Even creationists are talking about it. But from November 2013, I'm going to have a change of lifestyle. With an increasing workload, I'm going to be doing more travel and more feature stories for radio. I just want to have the time to commit to the Golden Crocoduck, which involves plotting through hours of videos and then working to the deadline of voting time and announcing the winner. Most of the time I just want physically be here. It also means me self-imposed target of producing one video a month want to be realized either. Each video requires an awful lot of research and meticulous indexing of me sources. This isn't a channel where I just spout me opinion and blandly give you the first thing that pops into my head. Believe it or not, I actually have to check all the facts and source everything from peer-reviewed papers published in respected scientific journals. I don't just read something on a blog, believe it and regurgitate it. On the contrary, that is exactly the kind of stuff I spend most of me time debunking. I've got several videos in the pipeline, and I hope to post at least 2 before next April, including this year's winner of the prestigious cock. After that, I'll be busy with other things until at least October. It also means I want to be able to read or respond to personal messages or questions on me channel forum, which I've always done in the past. It takes about an hour every day to read through the correspondence and reply to questions. The only exception will be if you want to bring an error to me attention, in which case please mark the message error, and it will get me attention. One thing I want to continue to do is correct any errors you find in me videos. But please, if the conclusions I report from the scientific literature are not in accordance with a blog or a religious text or whatever else you happen to believe in, that does constitute an error on me part. You may disagree with the theory of plate tectonics or the theory of evolution or greenhouse theory, and you may disagree with the scientific conclusions in the papers that I presented, and you welcome to your beliefs. But don't expect me to change me reporting at scientific conclusions simply because it doesn't concur with your beliefs. And please stay subscribed. Subscribe. It doesn't toast you anything and you want to be bothered or spammed until the next potholer54 video pops up, whenever that might be. Thanks to all those who've been watching, all those who subscribe, and all those who sent messages. I read them all, and if I didn't reply, it was only because there wasn't a question in there to reply to. Now I don't want to sound like a guru, but if I've achieved anything in me videos, it isn't to show you what the science says in opposition to the bloggers, preachers, and politicians. It's to show the importance of checking what the bloggers, preachers, and politicians say. You don't need me to debunk this junk science because you know how to do it. Ask how do you know? Ask for a source. And then check the source, trace it right back to where the information came from, and compare it with the claim, and do it nicely. That drives the junk scientist mad.